Hello guys and welcome to the third video where we will continue our mission to learn the meanings of the most common kanji, the most common Japanese characters used in the Japanese language. Today we will finally finish the first lesson and we will also learn new characters rather than just new numbers. So I hope you will like it. I hope you will enjoy the difference and let's start. So the first kanji that we will learn today is this one. Its meaning, it's just mouth. And as you can see, it doesn't have any other primitive meanings, and it doesn't even have any primitives used to help us to remember this kanji. As I said previously, these kanjis at the beginnings, they they're really easy to learn, and that's why we will just use very simple stories to remember them. We will basically treat them as pictograms, which means we will assign them the meaning based on how they look like, rather than based on which primitives they are consist on. So as you can see, this kanji kind of looks like a huge open mouth, right? We can also say it's like a gate, but let's stick with the mouth. So the story for this kanji simply looks like a huge open mouth. So every time you will see this character, you will try to remember that this is just a mouth. And we will use this character a lot. We'll use it a lot in the upcoming lessons and in other characters. So really, you will remember this very easily because you will see it so often. And how do you write this kanji? If you want to write it, you will start with the first stroke, then you do second stroke, it's like this hook, and then you finish it up. And that's all. So it's three strokes, and that's how you write the kanji. The kanji with the word with the meaning a mouth. So that was the 11th kanji that we already learned. Let's continue with number 12, and it's this one. This character states for day. The meaning of this character is a day. But if it's used in other characters, it can also have primitive meaning a sun, or sometimes even tongue wagging in the mouth. We will not use this very often. Really try to focus more on day and sometimes the sun. Well, try my best just to use day so it's easier for you. But if you use other resources, well, just remember that this character, if it's used in another characters, it can have the meaning of sun or even a tongue wagging in the mouth. That's kind of important to know. But for now, if you just stick with this series, the day will be sufficient. And again, it doesn't use any other primitives that will help us to remember this character. So we'll just have to treat this as a pictogram and try to come up with something that looks similar to this kanji. So for this one, we will use the story, open the window, it's a new day. Because we think that this character looks like a window, right? Let's first write it down. So if you write it, you will do first stroke, second stroke, similar to the mouth, right? But instead of closing it now, you will first put one stroke here and one stroke here. And if you look at it, it kind of looks like the windows in a train that are opening from the top down. So you can say that the window would be closed if there is no line. But then you put the window slightly down to the middle, and then you can see the outside environment through here. So that's how you remember, or hope you will remember, that this is looking like a window. And you have to remember the story. Open the window, like we just did. It's a new day. You can see the new day out of the window. So hopefully you will remember this is a day, and no worries, you will also see this character a lot. So once again, how to write it. First stroke, second stroke, third stroke, and fourth stroke. And that's it. Also very simple. I'm sure you will get it. So we'll continue with the next one, index 13. And this kanji has the meaning of month. It can also have primitive meaning or other primitive meanings as moon, flesh, and part of the body. And this time, uh, these primitive meanings, flesh and part of the body, are quite useful. They are used a lot in other characters. So this time, don't just stick with month, but really try to remember that this character can also mean flesh or part of the body when it's used in other characters. And finally, something a little bit more interesting, we are not just using a pictogram to remember this, but we will use the primitive that we just learned, which is day. Remember? Open the window, it's a new day. And we will use this to remember this character. So we will say a month is longer than a day. Why is it longer? Because it also has these guys, right? If we write, and this is not a stroke order, this is just to show you, this is the day, right? But this one, it's a month. A month is longer. Yeah, so you just add these legs and you have a character that means month because it's longer than a day. And how do you actually write it? You use first stroke, second stroke as this hook, and the third stroke and fourth stroke. So I hope you can already see the patterns that we do while writing the kanji. Usually you start with the outside, then you fill in the inside. So yeah, I like this character. We use the character that we learned previously. I told you you will use this one a lot as well. And we simply say a month is longer than a day because it really is longer than a day as a character and in reality as well. So let's continue with the character number 14. And this one has the meaning of rice field. Again, this character you will see a lot. It has primitive meaning as brain, and this also will be quite useful, but not as much. Rice field is the main meaning of this character, and if it's used in other characters, we will also most often treat its meaning as rice field, but try to remember brain as well. It will be useful, but if you don't remember while we are learning new characters and we use this meaning, you will see it here, right here. So it will be easy for you to recall it, so no worries about it. And again, this is quite simple character, and we could come up with some story like this is a mouse, right? We could say like this is a mouth, and this is number 10 inside, so we could come up with some 10 mouths or something. But sometimes it's really easier just to treat these characters based on how they look, especially these easy ones. So instead of just come up with some weird story using mouth and 10, you just say that this is a rice field divided into 4 parts. Because if you think about it, if you know how Japanese fields look like, or the rice fields look like, then it really looks something like this. They are just big fields divided into groups where the rice is growing. So maybe you can try to find some picture of Japanese rice field and you will see it looks similar to this. If not, just remember that it's a field, and a field, divided into 4 parts, and it should help you to memorize this character. So we will write it again with the same technique. We'll start with first stroke, second stroke, third stroke, fourth stroke, and a 5 stroke will close it up. And this is our character number 14, which means rice field, or a brain if it's used in another characters. And that will lead us to our last character of this class and also of this lesson. So this character 15 will actually close the lesson number 1. So we will do it and we manage to learn 15 of the characters and the whole first lesson, which is a great accomplishment. So let's check. This character has the meaning of eye, and its primitive meaning can be eyeball, basically just eye. I think if you sometimes, because if you use these characters in other characters, sometimes you have to change the meaning a little bit. So let's just say we previously saw the character for mouth, but maybe we use it a little bit like something like eating, something that has something to do with mouth. So yeah, try not to like stick with the like actual meaning of this. Like it has to be always I. It can also be treated as an eyeball. So this here doesn't really have to be here, but in case we will use it, and because we are beginning, and because it's really hard to explain if you don't see the following characters, then I wanted to put it here. But in the future, when we are learning the more difficult characters, it will all be clear. So no worries. If you didn't understand, if you didn't get what I said, I'm sorry for that, but I'm sure that in the future you will understand exactly what I mean and we will learn everything together. So it's all right. And how we will remember this character, again, we will not use any primitives. We will simply look at this character. We will try to remember it as a pictogram. So if you look at it, it kind of looks similar to an eye. You can imagine that there are two sections, two outer sections, which are the whites of the eye. So this is the white of the eye, this is the white of an eye, and the middle section to be the pupil. So sometimes in anime, in some manga or like any animation, they have these kind of eyes, right? They have usually it's like this, and then there's something on top, something on the bottom, and there's a big eye in the middle. So it looks quite similar to this character. So how do you write it? We again start with first stroke, we'll do second stroke, third, fourth, fifth one we'll close it. And yeah, so basically just remember those are the whites, bottom, top, and here would be the pupil. And that should be helpful for you to remember this character that means I. And that's it. That concluded the lesson one. We finished 15 characters, but do we remember them? Well, let's try. Let's try to open our Excel file. And as you can see, we learned 15 characters, and we are getting very close to the first percent of learning all the most common kanji. And as you can see, today we truly finish the lesson number one. So there are only 55 lessons remaining, and it means we almost 2% done with all the lessons. Then all the lessons will not have 15 characters. Some of them, there's one crazy one that actually has 100. So it doesn't really speaks the truth, but still it's nice to know that we finished 1 out of 56. But really, the true number is this one. We learned 15 out of 2,200. So a long way to go, but we will definitely do it. And let's try our kanji game. Should we do all of them? Maybe we can, right? We should be already very proficient in this one. So we know the first one means 1, the second one means 2. This is kind of a cheat code because we know that those are numbers, but hey, we can do it. This one, it means 3, it's just 2 plus 1. This one, this one means 4, because every or 4 years old babies eat their legs, something like this, right? 4 years old often put their human legs in their mouth. Yes, I just see really the picture and I don't really remember the story anymore. And you will end up like this as well. But for now, yes, please remember the story. 4 years old often put their human legs in their mouth. This is simply a 5, 3 strokes, and 2 vertical ones. Correct. This is a 6 parts of human body: head, body, shoulders, 2 legs. So it's 6. This is number 7 because it kind of looks like number 7 turned 180 degrees. This is number 8, which looks similar to the katakana ha. And this character, or the number 8, is actually pronounced hachi. So all makes sense. This is 9, looks like the letter N a little bit. This is 10. Do you still remember how you were fighting the 10 vampires with a cross? Well, I hope you do, because it will help you to remember the number 10. And now the new one. Well, what is that? Looks like a mouth with a bit of imagination. Yeah, we cannot really do much about this one, but trust me, you will remember this because we will use it a lot. The next one, open the window in a train. It's a new day. Huh, looks like a day, but it's a little bit longer. Maybe a week. No, it's a month. Is it a month? It is a month. It's longer. It's longer than a day. The next one is just a beautiful Japanese rice field divided into four parts. We will write it down. That's correct. And the next one we just saw, it's an eye. We can almost see the pupil in the middle. So let's write it down. Eye it is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude this lesson number one and this video as well. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will stick with me with the series and the next lessons. And again, the updated PowerPoint and Excel file will be in the link below or on the Patreon. And I will be looking forward to see you next time. And I'm grateful that you're joining me on this journey. And I'm sure we will learn this together. It's not simple, but it makes it fun. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.